Ne vous en faites pas. Le processus est très lent. Mais vous retrouverez la parole.
Pardon, quoi? Vous m'entendez pas? Docteur? Docteur? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Quoi, je parle pas? Ils m'entendent pas? Oh mon Dieu. Quoi, je peux pas parler? Qu'est-ce qui m'est arrivé?
Diving Bell and the Butterfly is a film that came out in 2007 that's written and directed by Julian Schnabel. So The Diving Bell and the Butterfly is a $50 Patreon request that comes from my cousin Erick. I obviously love and appreciate his level and support for this channel and for me in general. And I'm also really psyched because he just got done moving back from Oregon here to Atlanta. And when I say he just moved back, I mean literally today he landed. And I'm really excited to making more memories with him and doing more car reviews. So be on the lookout for not only car reviews with me and Perry, but also with Erick as well. So The Diving Bell and the Butterfly is a film that I had never heard of until Erick brought it to my attention. And that seems to be something that a lot of my pitch requests have in common. But I basically knew nothing about this film besides the fact that Erick said that it's a film that I would absolutely love because of its direction and visual style. And after watching the film, he's absolutely right, because I really like this film, and it's a film that I liked, as he mentioned, because of the direction and the visual style. But before I really start diving deeper into all that, just one quick interesting fact about the filmmaker Julian Schnabel is that he actually dedicated the time and energy to learn the French language specifically in preparation to make this film. And that is a incredibly respectable level of dedication that I highly admire. And also apparently the studios wanted and intended this film to take place in America and be spoken in the English language. But I guess with enough artistic stubbornness and integrity, they decided to allow the filmmaker to shoot the film in French. And I think that's an excellent choice, because not only does it make the film feel more authentic, but at the same time, I just feel like it's tasteful and respectful to the actual person that this film is based off of. His name was Jean-Dominique Bouby. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the story of what this man unfortunately went through is terrifying and tragic in so many ways. He basically was diagnosed with locked-in syndrome, which basically resulted from him having a random intense stroke that then caused his body to be completely paralyzed except for the movement of his left eye. And this film was able to capture the experience of what it would be like to suffer from this disease pretty damn well. Obviously, it compares nothing to actually having the disease, but still, this is by far one of the best depictions of a disability on screen that I've ever seen in my entire life. And it really is because of the director's vision. The first 20 minutes of this film is my favorite portion of the film, to be honest with you. Not that the rest of the film is mediocre or not great. It is really good. But the first 20 minutes of this film is basically purely observed through the first person perspective of the character. And it really makes it right out of the gate incredibly immersive and truly makes you feel like you're experiencing this horrible thing with this character. And I love that it committed to this first person perspective style for quite a long time. And honestly, you probably could have made an hour-and-a-half film of just the first person perspective, and it probably would have been effective. I mean, I'm glad that the film went the route that it did, because I still enjoyed it very much, but it's just so incredibly immersive that I can see it working for a full-length film. But yeah, just the way that he's able to capture that first-person perspective is so delicately done. And what I also love about this creative decision, and is something that's apparent throughout the entire film, is that you can hear the inner conscious thoughts of the main character, and it does make it feel that much more terrifying. And just the expression of the lack of control that someone would have under this condition is stuff straight out of nightmares. And it's only through his left eye that they found a way to allow him to express himself and communicate with other people. And it's through this painstaking process of reciting the alphabet over and over again. And just a way that was also expressed in the film just really gets you to realize how frustrating and difficult this situation would be. But one other thing about this film that I really loved was that this could have easily been another run-of-the-mill Oscar bait film. Because of the obvious fact that it revolves around a character that has a serious disability, but yet this film is almost the antithesis of what a conventional Oscar bait film would be like. And it's because of that visual style that I mentioned. As I mentioned, the first 20 minutes is through purely a first-person perspective, and that's already like a more or less bold artistic choice that you wouldn't really see in an Oscar bait film. And even beyond that, like even beyond the first-person perspective, just the visual editing style throughout this film. There's a lot of abstract images that are through this editing style that you just really wouldn't see in an Oscar bait film. And also the sound design of this film I thought was really creative. The part that really stuck out with me the most is the scene where they do show the main character actually having the stroke, and it's a scene that takes place in a car, and just the way that they utilized environmental sounds around him just made it that much more intense and off-putting, because in that particular scene you hear a sound of what seems to be something of a chainsaw. And as he's having this horrible moment, you hear the sound of a chainsaw, and not only does it feel like this is what's happening in his natural environment, but the sound itself kind of reflects, what he's feeling like on the inside and what's going on in his head. So I really do appreciate that this film is artistically unlike any other Oscar bait film that revolves around a disability. It's completely different in a lot of different ways. And throughout the film, we get certain moments and certain sequences where it presents a lot of these images that are edited together, whether it be an iceberg melting or just images of nature itself or images from his past. And throughout these sequences, you can hear the main character's inner thoughts as he's kind of poetically narrating his feelings. And I thought a lot of that, in terms of presentation, was beautiful, but in terms of it being profound, I'm not sure if all of that truly resonated with me. And I don't know if it's just because of the writing itself and what he's saying, or if it's just because the presentation itself does kind of present itself in this larger than life kind of feel. And it's really wanting to have this kind of existential tone and vibe to it that, in my opinion, didn't fully resonate with me. But I really do like that his inner conscious thoughts throughout the film are used as an avenue to kind of express his sense of personality. And there's this one scene where a few characters kind of make fun of him, and the nurse hears it and scolds them, and she's like really offended by it. But the actual person himself is laughing at the joke and he finds it funny. And I think it's just hilarious how it's kind of this expression of people getting offended for other people when that person themselves aren't even offended. But it's also a great scene because, again, it kind of uses inner conscious thoughts as a way to flesh out a sense of personality. But I also, even though I wasn't really huge on the whole poetic narration sequences, I did like a handful of some of the words of wisdom he was using, and also some of the stuff that has to do with self-pity and self-loathing. There's points in the film where he kind of catches himself doing some intense self-loathing, and I love how the character puts a stop to it. He's like, I have to stop self-pitying myself and feeling sorry for myself, even though he has every reason to feel sorry for himself considering his condition. But I like that sense of humility that he tries to keep throughout this film. And I thought one thing that was a little bit lacking from my experience is that even though through this film's wonderful and poetic visual style that really allows us to immerse ourselves within this character's experience, I still wanted to care more about this character and also wanted to learn more about him. And I feel like the emotional impact of this film would have hit me harder and would have resonated with me more if the film just was able to express more of this person's life and this person's personality. But either way, I still think that this is a great film. I'm really happy that Eric recommended it because he's right. It is the visual style and the creative vision that really made this a respectable film and an immersive experience overall. So I'm going to give The Diving Bell and the Butterfly a soft 8 out of 10.
La mer qu'on voit danser.
And I also forgot to mention that this film did get nominated for 4 Oscars, which I think is really well deserved. It didn't win any of them, which is unfortunate, but at least it got some sort of academic recognition. Either way, that's all I got to say about The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. If you really enjoyed what I had to say about the film, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.